Hello everyone. In this video, we will discuss about human nervous system. This topic is covered in class 10th as well as in class 11th. Now, we will start with human nervous system. The function of nervous system is to coordinate the activities of our body. It is the control system for all our actions, thinking and behavior. The nervous system helps all other systems of our body to work together. The nervous system is like a manager inside our body. Its job is to control and coordinate the parts of our body so that they work together, doing their job at the right time. The human nervous system receives information from the surroundings, processes it, interprets it, and then responds accordingly. The unit of nervous system, that is neuron. The units which make up the nervous system are called nerve cells or neurons. So neuron is the structural and functional unit of the nervous system. The nervous system is made of special cells called neurons. Neuron is the largest cell in the body which looks like an electric wire. Neurons contain the same basic part as any other animal cell, but their structure is specially adapted to able to carry messages over large distance in the body quickly. The neurons carry messages in the form of electrical signals called electrical impulses or nerve impulses. A neuron has three components as you see in the diagram also. First one is cell body, second one is dendrites, and third one is axon. We will start with cell body. The cell body of a neuron is like a typical animal cell which contains cytoplasm and a nucleus. A number of long and thin fibers are stretching out from the cell body of a neuron. They are called nerve fibers. The shorter fibers on the body of a neuron are called dendrites. The longest fiber on the cell body of a neuron is called axon. The axon has an insulating and protective sheath of myelin around it. That is known as myelin sheath. As you see in the diagram also, myelin sheath is covered the axon and the myelin sheath is made up of fat and protein. Now it is clear that both dendrites and axon arise from the cell body of a neuron. Next, types of neurons. There are three main types of neurons. First one is sensory neurons, second one is motor neurons, and third one is relay neurons. We will start with sensory neurons. Sensory neurons transmit impulses from the sensory cells or receptors towards the central nervous system. Second one is motor neurons. Motor neurons transmit impulses from the central nervous system towards the muscle cells or effectors. And third, relay neurons. Relay neurons occur in the central nervous system where they serve as links between other neurons. How nerve impulses or messages are transferred from one neuron to another in the nervous system. Any two neurons in the nervous system do not join to one another completely. There is always a very small gap between the two neurons, and this gap is called a synapse. A microscopic gap between a pair of adjacent neurons over which nerve impulses pass when going from one neuron to the next is called a synapse. Suppose there are two neurons. As you see in the figure also, there are two neurons. First one is A and another one is B neuron. Suppose there are two neurons A and B near each other. Let A be a sensory neuron, which is directly connected to the receptor. There is an extremely small microscopic gap between the end of the axon of neuron A and the dendrite of the next neuron B, which is called a synapse or gap. We will now explain how the electrical impulse travels through the gap or synapse between the two neurons. The receptor in a sense organ is in touch with the dendrites of sensory neuron. When a stimulus acts on the receptor, a chemical reaction is set off, which produces an electrical impulse in it. This impulse travels from the dendrites of a sensory neuron A to its cell body and then along its axon. At the end of axon of sensory neuron A, the electrical impulse releases tiny amount of a chemical substances into the synapse or gap. This chemical substance crosses the gap or synapse and start a similar electrical impulse in the dendrites of the next neuron B, as you see in the figure. From the dendrites, this electrical impulse is carried to the cell body and then to the end of axon of the second neuron. It can then be transferred to a third neuron in a similar way. This process goes on till the electrical impulse reaches the relay neurons in spinal cord and brain. The relay neurons and motor neurons connect in a similar way to bring electrical impulses from the brain and spinal cord to the effectors like muscles and glands. Synapses ensure that nerve impulses travel in only one direction through a particular set of neurons. The organs of human nervous system. The main organs of the nervous system are brain, spinal cord, and nerves. The sense organs like eyes, ears, tongue, nose, and skin can be considered to be other organs of the nervous system because they help in the functioning of the nervous system. The brain and spinal cord are connected to all the sense organs and other parts of our body by million of nerves. As you see in the diagram, there are million of nerves which are connected with brain and sense organs. How the nerve system works. When the sense organs like eyes, ears, nose, tongue, skin in our body is affected, it sends a message to the brain in the form of electrical impulses called nerve impulses through the sensory neurons. The brain analyzes this message and decides the action to be taken. The brain then sends out instructions to the muscles of the concerned body part through motor nerves. The concerned body part then acts according to the instructions set by the brain. Next, the parts of the nervous system. The nervous system can be divided into two main parts. First one is central nervous system, that is consisting of brain and spinal cord, and second one is peripheral nervous system. It consisting of all the nerves of the body like cranial nerves, spinal nerves, and visceral nerves. Now, the peripheral nervous system is also divided into two parts. First one is autonomic nervous system, which operates automatically. And second one is voluntary nervous system, which is under voluntary control from the brain. So we will start with the peripheral nervous system. It is also known as PNS. All the nerves of the body together make up the peripheral nervous system, PNS. The three types of nerves which make up the peripheral nervous system are spinal nerves, cranial nerves, and visceral nerves. First, spinal nerves. They arise from the spinal cord along most of the length of spinal cord and spread throughout the body except the head. Second, cranial nerves. They arises from the brain and spread throughout the head. And third one is visceral nerves. They are a special kind of nerves which mostly arise from the spinal cord through some arises from the brain. They are connected to the internal organs of the body. Reflex action and reflex arc. The simplest form of response in the nervous system is reflex action. This is a rapid automatic response to a stimulus which is not under the voluntary control of the brain. It is described as an involuntary action. A reflex action is one which we perform automatically. If we unknowingly touch a hot plate, as you see in diagram, if we unknowingly touch a hot plate, we immediately move our hand away from it. So, moving our hand away on touching a hot plate is an example of reflex action. The pathway or route taken by nerve impulses in a reflex action is called the reflex arc. As you see in the diagram, it is known as the reflex arc. A reflex action is an automatic response to a stimulus. Now, the autonomic nervous system and voluntary nervous system. Autonomic nervous system, the term auto means self and nomos means governing. So, autonomic nervous system means self-governing nervous system. The autonomic nervous system controls and regulates the functions of the internal organs of our body involuntarily. That means on its own. Example, breathing, heartbeat, digestion, sweating, etc. Next, voluntary nervous system. Those actions which need thinking and which are performed by us knowingly are called voluntary nervous system. The voluntary nervous system helps us take voluntary actions which are under the conscious control of the brain. Second one is central nervous system. It is also known as CNS. The central nervous system consists of the brain and the spinal cord. Like a telephone exchange with ingoing and outgoing wires, it is responsible for the coordination and control of the activity of the nervous system. The job of the central nervous system is to collect all the information from all the receptors in our body. This information is added together before messages are sent out to the effectors. In this way, the best action can be taken in a particular set of circumstances. Now, we will study brain and spinal cord in details. First, brain. Brain is the highest coordinating center in the body. The brain is located inside the skull of our body. It is protected by a bony box in the skull called cranium. As you see in diagram, cranium. The brain is surrounded by three membranes called meninges, which help to protect it. The space between the membranes is filled with cerebrospinal fluid, which protects the brain from mechanical injuries. Pairs of cranial nerves arise from the brain. Now, the brain is broadly divided into three regions. First one is forebrain, as you see in the diagram. First one is forebrain, second one is midbrain, and third one is hindbrain. The forebrain consists mainly of cerebellum. The midbrain does not have any further division. The hindbrain consists of three centers called pons, cerebellum, and medulla. We will now discuss the functions of forebrain, midbrain, and hindbrain. First, the cerebrum or forebrain is the main thinking part of the brain. It is the site of our faculties such as learning, reasoning, intelligence, personality, and memory. All our thoughts, sensations, actions, and movements are controlled by the cerebrum. All the voluntary actions of the body are controlled and coordinated by the cerebrum. Next, the functions of midbrain. The midbrain controls reflex movements of the head, neck, and trunk in response to visual and auditory stimuli. It also controls the reflex movements of the eye muscles, change in pupil size, and shape of the eye lens. And last, the functions of the parts of the hindbrain, which are pons, cerebellum, and medulla. The pons takes part in regulating respiration. Next, cerebellum. Cerebellum helps in maintaining posture and balance of the body. It also enables us to make precise and accurate movement. And last, medulla. Medulla controls various involuntary actions such as heartbeat, breathing, blood pressure, and peristaltic movements of alimentary canal. Medulla is also the controlling center for reflexes such as coughing, sneezing, secretion of saliva, and vomiting. Next is spinal cord. Spinal cord is a cylindrical structure. The spinal cord begins in continuation with medulla and extends downward. It is enclosed in a bony cage called vertebral column. Spinal cord is also surrounded by a membrane called meninges. As many as 31 pairs of nerve arise from the spinal cord. The spinal cord is concerned with spinal reflex actions and the conduction of nerve impulses to and from the brain. And last one is the functions of brain. The brain receives informations carrying nerve impulses from all the sensory organs of the body. Second one, the brain responds to the impulses brought in by sensory organs by sending its own instructions to the muscles and glands, causing them to function accordingly. Next, the brain correlates the various stimuli from different sense organs and produces the most appropriate and intelligent response. Next, the brain coordinates the body activities so that the mechanisms and chemical reactions of the body work together efficiently. The brain stores information so that behavior can be modified according to the past experience. This functions makes the brain the organ of thought and intelligence. Thank you.